Good afternoon and welcome to Go To Kitchens. This is Leslie and I am here with my very dear friend Dana. She's actually a new friend to me, and we have been joking for weeks online about me hating kale. And so she put a challenge out there that I would love her kale chips, that she swore up and down that I would love them. So we're going to take the challenge today and we're going to make some kale chips with Dana. And it's very easy. I have to say, this is going to be one of the cheapest snacks for your family that you could ever do, because for $2 basically and a few spices, maybe like $2 worth of spices, you're going to have a huge portion of kale chips for your family. They're healthy. They're going to want to eat them all the time. It's so much better than them eating junk food and chips, and it's going to give them that crunchy factor that they like. And we were just talking about it, that they would be really good on a burger. So if you're eating grass-fed burgers and feeding those to your family, I would love somebody to try those on a burger and send me a picture and a report about how great they are. So this is Dana. Show them your hands, Dana.
Hi, everybody.
It's Go To Kitchen hands. So we're just going to start off here. I'm going to tell you what's in kale chips. You're going to use some olive oil. We have, actually Dana and I use the same organic olive oil, which I think is hilarious and great at the same time. We were just talking about that you can get this cheaper at Natural Grocers, was it?
Yes.
And I won't say the other place where it's more expensive, but you can get it at Natural Grocers. You can get it at a lot of places. So just look for a nice organic extra virgin olive oil. And we have, what is this? This
just
is
black pepper.
Oh, this is, okay, black pepper and paprika. These are all organic, of course. Sage, garlic powder, rosemary, and sea salt.
This is my favorite salt. I can't live without it.
Okay. Everybody see that? We'll have to take a good look at that. Dana's favorite salt. You heard it here. So, so we were talking about how much you should put on these. This is really a season to taste. So you put on the spices that you like. It is not regulated to just these things. If you like chili powder, if you like thyme, if you like any other spice, oregano, you could make these any flavor. You can make Italian, you can make Mexican, right? I mean, you could
Absolutely.
yeah, you could put all kinds of seasoning on these. So it's what your taste is and what you like. And again, if you have come up with some great crazy creation, you should let us know on Facebook what that is, and we will try it again and make it with your concoction. So.
Right. Leslie, we should also mention that you don't need all these spices. These are fabulous with just salt. So if you don't have all these spices in your counter, you know, spices are expensive. If you don't use these all the time, just make them with salt. You're going to love them.
Excellent. Good tip. Okay, so kale, by the way, is 99 cents a bunch. I mean, a lot of people think it's some exotic thing, and it's not. It's 99 cents. So again, super cheap, and these are really fast, and we're going to show you how to do them right now.
And these were organic too.
Yeah, these were both organic. Of course, you know me, only organic.
All right, so we've already washed our kale. I left them in the bunch because it was easier to keep them together. But you can just rinse these off in the sink with some vinegar. Don't have to get all fancy. I know they're organic, but I like to rinse them off anyway. You just don't know what has happened to your produce between the time they were picked and the time you brought them home. So
that's very true.
I'm just a safety girl, that's all I'm saying. So we're going to cut these, and we want to cut this big vein out of it. It's crunchy, it's not going to taste good. Trust me, you don't want it in there. And you're just gonna, you know, cut it into like bite sizes. These are going to shrink when they're cutting, so you're not going to have a chip this big. They're going to be, I don't know if I would say significantly smaller, but they definitely are going to dehydrate when they're
right. I was going to say, so you're taking all the moisture out of them, so you're dehydrating them essentially in the oven. We already have the oven on, by the way, and it is heated to
350 degrees.
350 degrees. So I'm not going to repeat everything Dana says because you can hear her.
Are you sure?
Because I probably have at this point, like some crazy person, but but I'm not going to do that. I'm stopping that right now. Yes. So she's just going to cut those up, and she's working feverishly. Can you see this? It's she's working fast.
You know, it's not rocket science. It doesn't matter how big these are. You could literally not cut them if you wanted to. I think that would be silly, but
It'd be like one giant kale chip.
It would not prevent it from cooking properly. It's just I like a bite size. You know, I want to pretend like I'm somehow cheating and I'm not having a Lay's potato chip or a Dorito, but somehow I'm still having a snack food, I guess.
Like the super healthiest kind of snack food you could have. I mean, I could see watching a movie and like eating a whole bunch of kale chips really fast. Although I don't like kale, so we'll see. We'll see how we end up here.
She's gonna love it. I'm shocked. I've never heard of anybody who didn't love a kale chip.
I know, crazy person.
Right. So let's just stop with, we've got a bowl here. And we're gonna just start by putting some olive oil in. I don't know amount wise.
Go ahead.
Maybe
1,
a tablespoon's
2,
worth.
3, 4. Count to 4 and pour your olive oil.
And then I just mix it in. You just want full coverage. And the reason you're going to do this is because you want your salt or your spices to, you know, stick to it because they're going to bake onto it.
So yeah, so that's to adhere. I mean, that's why we put olive oil. Does the olive oil do anything to help it not burn as well, or?
I suspect it helps it get crispier because
Okay.
it's kind of helping with the baking process. But I'm not really all that scientific. I don't know I just do what I'm told.
She's a good girl. She does what she's told.
I follow the directions. Okay, so the paprika is probably the one you're going to put the least amount on because it can be kind of spicy. But you know, we're just going to sprinkle a little bit on to try to get full coverage. You're almost, you know, you're almost just kind of massaging them into the leaves.
I've heard that when you're going to eat kale raw that you should massage the leaves. Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I heard that. Somebody told me that if you didn't want it to be tough, that you should, and you were just going to eat like a salad like this, that you should massage the leaves to make them where they're not so tough.
Well,
so.
I saw a recipe the other day for making kale chips, and that recipe, I'm going to keep this because I'm going to be putting more salt on. That recipe actually did massage the leaves. It was coconut oil, lemon juice, and salt.
Okay.
And they did massage the leaves. I don't know what the reason is. Now, you can overdo it on the salt. So I read. I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
But all the recipes that I have found, they always say be careful not to oversalt. Man, this should have been done. Should have taken the lids off before my
I can do
hands
that.
were greasy. Could
Sorry.
you help me out here?
Yeah, I got it. I'm a bad assistant. Bad assistant.
Well, it
This one
helps
doesn't
if
need
you
it.
have someone assisting that you tell them what you need assistance with. So I'll take full blame.
So this is a great activity. As she's doing this and I'm watching her do it, this is an awesome activity for your kids. You know, don't let them cut them up if they're too young. But if you cut it up, put it in the bowl, and let them put the spices, or maybe even you put the spices on and the olive oil, but let them get their hands in there and massage the kale and get it nice and mixed up. They're going to love that, and they're going to feel like that they have taken part in helping you cook, and therefore they're going to want to eat them. So that's a great idea for your kids and your family. I'll just put the rosemary.
Okay.
You tell me when.
Just kind of shake around. There you go. We'll mix them up, and then if we feel like we need
love
more,
rosemary.
we'll put some in. Oh, I do too.
I wish you could smell that. Makes me want to take a bath. Rosemary always makes me want to take a bath. I don't know. It's
Rosemary has never made me want to take a bath.
It's something about it. That and lavender.
Just a smidge more. Yeah, there we go.
That and lavender make me want to take a bath.
I love lavender. Okay, so
Now we're going to do a little...
We're going to do the salt. There's a lid on top. It's not ready to
Oh.
crack it. You got to pull the little cap off.
I got it.
You know, it's rocket science.
Oh, there we go. It's like I've never cooked before or something. Well, I've never cooked with Dana, and I've certainly never made kale chips, so... Tell me when.
Let me mix some up there. That's probably enough. I'm not the biggest fan of pepper. I use a lot of pepper just because they say that it helps a lot of different nutrients, including like when you have turmeric, to be more bioavailable.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have learned to love kale, or not kale, black pepper a little bit more than I have in the past.
So can you see the spices in there? I got it ready. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to like eat the bowl or anything, but you can see some of the spices. And I can tell you it smells heavenly.
That it does.
That does not make me want to take a bath. That makes me want to eat kale chips. But
well, I want you to want it, so just pour it on.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about kale. Kale is considered a superfood by many, and it is considered a cruciferous vegetable. Robin's not here to say it for us today, darn it. I always make my husband say cruciferous because it's hard for me to say it. And it's a cruciferous vegetable. So let's talk about why you would want to eat kale. You would want to eat kale if you are somebody who is battling inflammation or battling cancer, which is a lot of inflammation problems. If you're going through treatment for anything, if you are having problems with your digestive system, you don't want to eat a ton of kale, but wean yourself into it easily. And I think that you'll see an improvement. It's a leafy green. You could eat this whole pan of this, maybe with the exception of if you put a ton of salt on there, you should probably be a little careful, but you could eat this whole pan in one sitting and feel completely guilt-free. It's low calorie, even with the little bit of olive oil that we've put on it. It's going to be low calorie. It's going to be a great snack for you in that mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or popcorn time when it's TV time. This is something you could sit in front of the TV with and just go to town. So we're going to be back with you in just a minute. We're going to stick these in the oven, and they are going to cook how long?
We're going to check them at about 10 minutes, but typically they should probably take probably around 15 minutes. Now, that's if you haven't overloaded your pan.
Okay.
And that's why I didn't do the whole bunch. I have a tendency to just want to get everything done fast, and so I'll load this all up, but then it'll end up taking, 20 or 25 minutes, and I'm stirring it up often just to keep it going. But
they probably get crisper with less on there.
But if you want them to be pretty and you want to show them off, you would rather do it like this because they're gonna cook more even and better.
Okay.
So we're gonna check them at 10 minutes, maybe mix them up a little bit. So that if there's a certain area in the oven where these are kind of still soft and these are starting getting crispy, and then we're gonna eat them.
All right,
Leslie's gonna love them.
I'm gonna put them over here. I'm gonna open. I can do this part. You can't see them going in, but they are going in. All right, so we'll be back with you shortly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And does it look? How does the frame look? Does it look straight and?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go then. Okay, so the kale chips are ready to come out. Look at that. See how much they shrank? You remember that the whole pan was full of kale chips, so they have shrunk down quite a bit. I have to tell you, they smell really yummy, so we're going to have the moment of truth here. Are they nice and hot?
They are.
These were made ahead of time, by the way. So... and now we're just going to add the hot ones on top of it.
Yep. Now you can see these ones started to get a little bit of brown here. Could have maybe pulled it out a minute or two earlier.
But I didn't have my camera on.
But it doesn't matter. They still taste good.
It's the joy of cooking.
And if you don't ever want the browning, because most of the time I make them, they have the brown, you can back up on the temperature and cook them for longer. You could cook them at 275 for, 30 minutes or, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I just am too impatient for that.
So we're going to slide those off into this bowl, and we are going to show you a nice close-up picture. Uh-oh. Escaping! Runaway kale chips.
Good thing we cleaned the counter.
It's too bad my dog's not here. He would totally eat these. He eats everything. My dog eats carrots and tomatoes, and he loves all those things. So, all right, so here we go. A nice close-up view. They smell really good. All right, so here's the moment of truth.
All right, you can
What's the verdict? Will I like them? Will I not like them? They are really crispy.
They are crispy. Crispier than that first batch.
Yeah, I kind of dig them.
You like crispier better?
I like the crispy ones. It's a total fake out. It's a total fake out. You think that you're eating something that is not good for you, when indeed you're eating something that is great for you. Not only good, but great for you. So make some kale chips. I have been here with Dana. Thank you, Dana, very much for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
And this is Leslie from Go2 Kitchens. Go on Facebook and find us. Go2kitchens.com is the handle there. Go find us, and we'll have a conversation about what you're cooking up in your kitchen. If you want to be part of Go2 Kitchens or you'd like to film with us, please send me a message through Facebook. You can email me at go2kitchens@gmail.com. and I'll be happy to talk to you about what you have planned. Thanks so much, and you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to eat some more chips. Thanks for watching again. Ask me, chat with me, hang out with me, learn with me, pen me. GoToKitchens.com.